The giraffe that looked at me. This is my summer story. The summer sun was shining brightly, and fluffy white clouds floated slowly across the sky. Birds chirped happily as our family walked toward the zoo entrance. I held Mom's hand and bounced with excitement. "We are finally here," I said. Dad smiled. "There are so many animals waiting to meet us today." I could hardly wait. We walked past tall trees and colorful signs. We saw sleepy lions. We saw silly monkeys. We saw waddling penguins. Then suddenly, Dad pointed ahead. "Look over there," he said. I looked up and up and up. My eyes opened wide. "Whoa," I shouted. A giant giraffe stood beside us. The giraffe stretched its long neck high into the air. Its brown spots covered its body like puzzle pieces. Its long legs looked taller than Dad. Its giant eyes blinked slowly. I stared at the giraffe. The giraffe stared at me. I blinked once. The giraffe blinked once. I whispered. I stepped a little closer. The giraffe looked at me again. I stepped another tiny step. The giraffe kept looking. I looked left. The giraffe looked left. I looked right. The giraffe looked right. Dad scratched his head. "I think someone has a new friend," he said. I giggled and waved my hand. The giraffe blinked slowly. Then it leaned its long neck down a little closer. My little sister held onto Mom's hand tightly. "It is looking at you," she whispered. My heart felt bouncy. Why was the giraffe watching me? Suddenly, the giraffe stretched its nose toward me. Closer, closer, closer. I stood very still. Dad stood very still. Mom stood very still. My little sister stood very still. Then, sniff, the giraffe sniffed the top of my hat. Everyone stared for one quiet moment. Then, Dad started laughing. Mom started laughing. I started laughing. My little sister pointed and giggled. "The giraffe likes your hat," she shouted. I looked at my hat. It had bright red strawberries all over it. Dad smiled and nodded. "Maybe your hat looked delicious," he joked. I laughed and touched my hat. The giraffe blinked at me again. Then it slowly lifted its head high into the air. Its long neck stretched toward the clouds. It looked like a giant moving tree. We watched the giraffe walk slowly across its home. Step, step, step. Its long legs moved gently. I waved goodbye. The giraffe turned its head. Then it looked at me one more time. I smiled as big as I could. As we walked away, I looked back and smiled. Dad put his arm around my shoulders. Mom smiled warmly. I thought about the giant giraffe and my funny strawberry hat. Sometimes the biggest surprises happen in the most wonderful places. And that was my summer story.